Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Brandon. Now that Jake is gone, everything that we've done together this past visit, his first visit, until next time, it's all finished. So I have to admit, I think I've kind of told him this a little bit. Maybe, I'm sure he'll be watching this video, but he spent so much time here and was such a big help in so many ways. And some people just offer some support by giving me a view. They're just viewing all my stuff. Maybe they're silent. Maybe some of you out there, some of you are subscribers and you watch all my stuff, but you don't ever say anything. Maybe you don't even like the video, and that's fine, but you're watching the videos, and if they're entertaining or if they're helpful or useful or whatever, that's great that you support in that way. And then some people go beyond that. They maybe they even share it, or they've decided to donate to me, and all of that is fine. Everything that I get in the way of support, whether it's encouraging words or monetary support, or people who show up and just lend a hand sometimes, it's all appreciated. But the way in which Jake helped me during this last visit, it was so multifaceted. And I wanted to take this opportunity to not only talk about uh, what he did for me and to show my appreciation for him, but also to show my appreciation for those of you who have also helped me in so many different ways. First of all, when Jake arrived, I he had some problems with the flight, so he had to get on the next flight. Luckily, it all worked out fine. I was able to pick him up at the airport and get him to his Airbnb and all of that good stuff. And so everything was kind of smooth sailing from there. But he brought a ton of tools. And in my earlier video, I think it was my first real video that I posted with Jake. Uh, if I can remember to put a link to it in the description box below, I'll do that. But if you haven't seen that, you can go back and check it out. It's when Jake actually organizes and cleans the entire kitchen, the daidokoro, the kitchen slash shop, the kit shop here, which is actually right in there. He organized and cleaned that whole thing for me. And during that video, I did mention that he brought some tools, and I mentioned and showed some of them, but you have no idea the amount of tools and the scope of what I can do with those tools. Some of them I haven't even really had a chance to use yet because I just haven't gotten to that point. There's so many projects that need to be done here, and it takes a little while for me to get to some of those projects simply because I'm trying to prioritize. And not only that, it takes a while to get just even the simplest of things done sometimes. And Jake and Evelyn and everybody else who's been here to lend a hand, they can attest to the fact that it takes time to get things done because I mean, look at this place. This house is huge. I've got basically six buildings here, okay? I've got the main Kominka, which is connected on this side to the main Kura. It's a huge two-story building. Right behind the main Kura is the shed, which is kind of leaning, and I'm hoping to save. It's also two-story, but you don't walk upstairs. You have to climb a ladder to get up there. It's kind of dangerous, so I don't go up there. The metal lady did, but that's beside the point. Next to the main Kura on the other side, which you can't really see very well. If you look through that doorway right there, you can see it over there. This is another storage building, a small one, and it technically doesn't belong to me, but everyone says it belongs to me. The only one that says it doesn't belong to me is the agent, because he says that little plot of land technically doesn't come with this, but my neighbor and everyone else, the whole family over there told me recently, no, 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 it's yours, it's yours, it's yours, it's yours. So, okay, so I guess it's mine. So that's another building. And then, of course, I have my little bathhouse right here, which unfortunately I'm going to have to tear down. It's just too rotten all the way up to the top. The wood is no good, so I'm going to have to tear that down. And of course, you know that on the other side of the Kominka is the two-story guest house Kura. So if you count all of these buildings, including the house, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6 on the other side. So 6 total buildings that I basically have and am responsible for. That means regularly having to cut the grass, and right now the grass is starting to get a little out of hand. It's too high. It shouldn't be this high. But it did rain a lot several days ago. In the past few days, it's been really warm and sunny, so the grass has just sprung up. You see, this is mine and Glenn's Mount Fuji 2, Little Mount Fuji, and it just really just blows up with grass. The front in the front of the house has blown up with grass. So just to do regular maintenance stuff outside the house, of course, it's the grass, cutting the grass and burning it and things like that. But inside the house, it's a nonstop battle with not just dust, but also insects. I would say just maybe about 3 days before Jake left, there started to be more and more bugs, like gnats and little bitty mosquitoes, excuse me, and little things like that. And it started to become more of a problem. So every day what I basically do, as soon as I wake up, I go out and I light one of these big incense burners that's meant to repel insects. I always do that when I wake up first thing in the morning, and I put on some water for coffee. And I try to keep the whole house smelling really good with the incense stuff that drives the insects and the bugs away. Later in the evening, before it gets dark, I try to turn off all the lights inside, like in the Doma or the Ginkan and all of that, so that the bugs aren't attracted to the house. And when I turn on the inside lights, like in the bedroom, I close those Fusuma doors so that that light isn't easy to see from the outside. So I'm just trying to keep the bugs away. So I'm constantly having to battle with that. But the other thing that I mentioned was the dust and the dirt inside the house, in the Ginkan, right inside on the floor of the Ginkan, especially in the Doma, because much of that is already a dirt floor and it's exposed. And inside the house, the dust, the nonstop dust. I said all of this because I wanted you to know that just doing the regular maintenance by myself, just to try to keep things relatively clean inside and out, it's just a constant time consuming thing to do. So being able to actually get those tools that Jake brought and that others have either donated to me or helped me to locate at a very cheap cost. Yes, they're there and they're available and I can use them. However, finding the time to use them and getting them used and getting things done quickly and efficiently, it's a slow process, especially for one person. So that's why when Jake was here, it was also a big help not just to have the tools, but also have the extra set of hands. Plus, he's very good at cleaning and organizing and fixing things. It's what he does for his own work, and so he already had a really high level of proficiency. I didn't really have to manage him or supervise or look at what he was doing too much. A lot of the time while he was here, he was on one side of the house or on one side of the inside of the house or outside doing something, and I was completely somewhere else doing something else. And after a while, I would just think, man, I need to go see what Jake's doing, just because it's like we hadn't seen each other in a couple of hours. But I would be back here maybe washing clothes and burning stuff and pulling things up and sweeping and cleaning out. Like one day I was trying to get the Ginkan completely cleaned out because I knew we were going to need to use that to like cook stuff and that sort of thing, while Jake was in the kitchen doing stuff in there. And so we're always kind of either we worked on stuff together that we could work on together, or we were working in separate areas to keep things more efficient because some jobs just aren't conducive to work together on in a closed space because you just keep getting in each other's way. And so we kind of work together and apart depending on what we were doing. When we were back here in the yard working, it was easy for us to work together because he was working in this area down here and doing all of this and cutting up stuff with hand tools, and I was up on the wall cutting stuff with the trimmer and using that. So we were able to work simultaneously and just keep throwing stuff on the fire and that sort of thing. But anyway, even I'm looking forward to really utilizing the tools that he brought one at a time to do various things, and you're going to see those throughout the videos in the coming weeks and months. There's so much going on, and I can't express to you enough, actually, how much stuff is coming up and how busy I'm going to be. I'm still on medical leave, so I'm not working at the school. I'm not teaching. I mentioned before that I was hoping to get into the excuse me. I was hoping to get into the Japanese language school, and so that I could get my student visa, and then from there I would have residency through my student visa. I would be improving my Japanese, and on top of that, I'd be able to work part-time doing whatever if I needed to, or continue to sell stuff online, which is something I've been wanting to get better and better at, but it's just been kind of stagnant recently. However, hopefully that will improve. But this leads me to the next point. Okay, yeah, earlier I mentioned how people have been supporting me and helping me out and doing things for me, and of course Jake came in and not only helped with his hands, he made a very sizable direct donation to me, and that was a big surprise, and it really moved me because on top of that, it was like, I kid you not, the gifts that he brought in the way of the tools, it was like being a kid again, and it's Christmas morning. That's what the joke was. It was like, he said Merry Christmas. It was like Christmas. It was like Santa Claus came from Hawaii and brought all these adult toys. Not those type of adult toys. I mean, tools and hardware and tool belts and stuff like that. Those are the kind of adult toys. I'm talking about men's toys. I'm not talking about, like JAV toys or something. If you don't know what that is, then please don't look it up. Besides that help that Jake offered, the emotional support, being here and having him here for a while, especially staying here with me at the Kominka at English Vera, I have to say that for several days after, when I took him back to the airport, said our goodbyes, he flew back to Hawaii, and for several days after that, I felt kind of down, and that's just how I operate. Anytime I'm doing something, or I'm around people, or I'm enjoying myself, and my stress goes down, I'm having a really good time, and then that time comes to an end, I usually have a period for several days where I just feel down. I don't want to say depressed, just sad. I just feel a little down and sad. And having him here and helping me out and motivating me and having all the communication and everything and all the positive energy and everything was just really a big help. And then suddenly it wasn't there. There was no transition. It was just he was here for a while and everything was go 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 every day, and then suddenly he was gone. And so for a few days after that, I felt very sad. Wasn't motivated. Didn't do much of anything here at all. You can see it's kind of messy out here, which is what I'm about to try to address right now. And I didn't edit any videos either. Even though I've got tons and tons of video that he and I shot, I didn't really start seriously editing them until just a couple of days ago, and it's been many days since he left. So I've got tons of stuff on the computer that I need to edit and post, and I hope you're looking forward to that. This was actually recorded after all of that, but I'm going to post this as soon as I can, simply because I want to share it with you all, and so you can see kind of what's been going on, and of course to give an update on what's going on with me and how I feel about here, plus to show my gratitude to people like Jake and some others But I didn't want to. I'm sure I'll forget or leave somebody or something out if I just try to mention everybody. But I will say this. Like I said earlier, I wanted to add on to that some other things because I've received some other things, other items, and gifts and support in various ways. And so if I think I should trailer some other mentions onto what I was telling you about, what Jake did here for me. So a video that I actually made, I can't remember how long ago it was. Maybe 3 months ago. It's so ridiculous. Maybe 3 months ago, I made a video and I was showing some appreciation and expressing my gratitude to two people who made some donations to me. One was Danny, whose YouTube channel is DIY Japan. That punk, his channel has blown up now to over 2,000 subscribers, and he was just a little bit ahead of me, and all of a sudden he just kind of shot up to over 2,000. I'm not even at 1,000 subscribers yet at the time of this video. I'm only at like 847 or something like that, and he just kind of took off and left me in the dust. And so whatever, but Danny's a really cool guy and his channel's awesome. If you haven't checked it out, please go look it up. It's DIY Japan. But he sent me his old iPhone. It's an old like iPhone 6 Plus, and it's got a big screen. It shoots really nice video. He sent that to me because I didn't have a good camera that could dependably shoot decent video. And so a lot of my early videos are pretty crappy, and that's just because I neither had good access to a good camera. My old Canon camera crapped out. I couldn't get it fixed. My phone camera, my new phone, it's terrible. I got it for 1 yen because it came with my Docomo contract. Absolutely horrible video. It's terrible. So I was basically limping by on the videos that I was shooting for my channel, and he just sent it to me for free, and that's really helped me out a lot because it has a good time lapse, and I combined it with another old phone that I have that actually shoots pretty good video, and I use the two in combination to make my videos now. So that really helps me out, and so I wanted to say thanks to Danny for doing that. And that was in that old video that I made like 3 months ago, but I can't find the footage. In that same video, I mentioned Evelyn because now Evelyn does actually have a YouTube channel, but I'm not sure she's posted anything yet. She's from Sweden. You should know her from my videos because she has been here to the Villa a few times to help me, and it seems like every time she comes, all we wind up doing is burning stuff because even now, you look at what's going on here. I've got a lot of junk. Now, this obviously is not burnable. This is a bunch of tile that I need to put in the tile pile. So that's not burnable. But a lot of this old wood that I've pulled out of the Doma and out of the house and the rotten floors and all of that, plus a lot of the stuff that Jake and I have cut, the bamboo and the trees and the grass around the corner of the house, these things are going to need to be burnt, and I was planning on doing that in just a few minutes if I can hurry up and finish this video. However, Evelyn focused on helping me get the old futons and clothes and stuff like that out of the house. So she spent a lot of time just bringing stuff into the Genkan and throwing it there, and I was grabbing it and burning it out here. And it was taking so long. At one point, I had two fires going at the same time to try to speed up the process, but it was such a slow process that we didn't even get it done. And then the next time she came, we did kind of more of the same. But she did help me from there clean out the Ingawa, or the hallway, in the front of the house. And after that, she sent me from, she's from Sweden, so she sent me a gift from IKEA, which is hilarious. It's a sink. So in anticipation of me being able to get my bathroom installed, because this house has never had a bathroom. Never, okay? It's never had a bathroom. Right here in the corner, there's a men's urinal. But this room right here, with the sliding doors, the glass doors that I'm turning into a bathroom, it's not actually a bathroom. It's just a room with a little closet. And I'm converting it into a bathroom. This whole Kominka has never had a toilet in it at all, besides this urinal. It's never had a bathroom toilet or a sink, yeah, a bathroom sink or anything like that. There was an old sink in the kitchen, the old metal cabinets that were in here, but it's never had a bathroom. So I'm completely constructing a brand new bathroom in this room. And Evelyn was kind enough to anticipate that occurring, and she sent me a nice porcelain sink from IKEA. And it's sitting right in there right now. It's sitting right in the house. And I'm coming along. It's getting there. I can't show you right now what it looks like in there because I haven't posted the videos that Jake and I have done for the floor in there. But I can tell you, we tore out this floor. We tore out all the rotten wood from the Doma floor and the bathroom floor completely out, all the way down to the dirt. We cleaned that out. We rebuilt the frame, we rebuilt the supports, we put in the insulation, the subfloor, and then we laid down the cedar wood on top of it just to see what it would look like. And it's really, really cool. So I hope you can stick around and see that because it's coming very, very soon, if not already. But anyway, so thank you very much also to Evelyn for helping me out with the gift of the sink and your time. And of course, I believe either her Instagram or her YouTube or maybe both, the name of her channels are Evelyn in Japan, I think. And that's Evelyn, Evelin, I believe, in Japan. You can check it out. Now, I mentioned the tile, this right over here, and this came with Glenn, who's an Aussie, and he came from Australia to visit for a while. He spent a couple of days out here. He was patient enough, even though he just wanted to get busy doing work out here in the yard, he was patient enough to go inside and help me get the cupboard cleaned out with all the dishes and get them packed, completely clean out the kitchen and destroy the floor, get it all out and burned and completely emptied. And just completely emptied. If I haven't said completely, I'm going to say it again, completely emptied. And then after that, we got out here, and he helped me get all of this dirt that was covering all the concrete and everything out here. He helped me get all of this up, and we moved it all into one big pile, which is the little Mount Fuji right over here, Mount Fuji 2. And it's now Grass Mountain, Mount Grass Fuji Mountain. And during that process, he showed up with this wheelbarrow, and he was able to spend time here. So thank you, Glenn, for helping me out and for bringing the wheelbarrow, which, by the way, I have used a lot. Jake and I used it a lot, and I'm still using it right now. I have a feeling that I will destroy the wheel, but luckily, Nintendo, the hardware store, has more wheels in stock, so I can always pick up another one. On top of that, I would like to mention there are a few other people, and I can't name all of them because there are several. Some small donations and some much larger donations that people have given to me, and you know who you are. Okay, I'll just say that you know who you are, and I just want to say that. Without going into too much detail and trying not to be too emotional about it, because when I start to think about the things that people have done for me, and especially people who who've just seen me kind of from a distance, right here on YouTube or whatever, and for even though I don't have many subscribers, some of you have seen what I'm doing. You've connected with me for some reason, and you've reached out and haven't even met me before, but have actually helped me and assisted me in ways that I can't express enough gratitude for. And I mean, one day I even had somebody come by. There's another subscriber, another friend who found me through YouTube. Excuse me. I believe he lives in Totori, and He came by here one day and left I missed him. I wasn't here at the time, but he left an envelope with some money in it, and he left a donation directly. He said he preferred to just give the donation to me directly instead of sending it through online means. And I was shocked about that, and really amazed. So, little things like that are, and it's not even a little thing. That's what I was going to say. It's actually a really big thing for me. I was going to say little things like that are big things for me, but maybe for some people, when they do stuff like that, it's a big thing. Some people can't even really afford to give like $5, but whenever people give more than that and actually take their time to come by and drop it off, that's pretty amazing. When people take the time to fly from another country, or from another place, or come visit from out of town, etc., and bring me support, encouragement, a lending hand, some money or something, it's really amazing and appreciated, and I just want to express my gratitude for all of that. And now, after I've said all of that, I hope that everyone who's helped me in some way, you feel somehow that I've included you in my appreciation and my gratitude. And if you feel I've overlooked you, or if I haven't said anything that you feel is connected to you in a way of gratitude, then this is for you. Thank you, thank you. I am truly grateful for not only your time that you give to me to watch my channel and follow what I'm doing, but for anything that you've said or done or given to help support me in my situation and this beautiful old house, because there's so much more that needs to be done to fix it and to fix myself. I I came to Japan after, man, my arms are tired from holding this camera. I should have gotten a tripod maybe. Um, I'd like to I'd like to kind of sit down, I think. I'll go to my chair right over here because there's one more big announcement I have, and I've saved it for the end. I hope that you've stuck around this long. I had no intention for this video to be this long. Yeah, I don't have my glasses on, but I can squint and I can see that this video is getting up on 30 minutes. And I've been talking as fast as I can to try to say as much as possible, so I likely will not be editing this video. I'm just going to do a quick color correction on it and upload it to YouTube as is. But I've got a major announcement, and I hope that you've been able to stick around into this point in order to get to that, which also comes with a huge expression of gratitude. Okay? And it's going to be for one particular friend that I've known for over 10 years now. But just before I get to that, for those of you who don't know, and I think a lot of my subscribers do, I think so, I've been on medical leave since December 1st of last year, which now has been over it's about 7 months, about 7 months ago. And the reason for that is because more than a year ago, May of 2022, I developed some major health problems. At first, early last year, I thought there was just something wrong with me because I wasn't in shape. I actually, at the beginning of the year last year, even though I couldn't really afford it, I decided to enroll in a gym. So I enrolled in a local gym in Hiroshima because I was still working there. I had an apartment there. I was at the school. And so I enrolled at a local gym. I was still coming out here to the house once a week to do some cleaning and cut grass and explore through the house and things like that. But I had to walk. I didn't have a car, so I had to walk from the bus station to here, and that's about a 45-minute walk, mostly uphill. And it just became harder and harder, and it was harder for me to get up the hill to go to the school because the junior high school where I was teaching, it was way up on top of one of those big hills. So if you watch anime and you see that the schools or the houses way up on top of the hill, that's basically exactly what it was like for me to go to the junior high school that I worked at. It was way up on top of the hill. And I just thought, I'm out of shape. I'm not in good shape. So I decided to try to go to the gym. Well, that didn't last long. I went to the gym basically 2 times. And then when I was walking out here one day to the house, I was like, man, I had to keep stopping and catching my breath. My side was hurting, in my right side. And I still didn't really think that there was something wrong. I just thought I was really unhealthy and out of shape. But then I was at the school shortly after that, and when I went to the toilet, I had all I had to do was go pee, but it felt very strange, not like you normally feel when you have to go pee. And I went, and what came out was not pee. It was pretty dark red blood, and some clots, pretty big, and it was shocking. I had never seen anything like that before ever, and it made a mess. I had to clean it up, and the reason I'm sharing that with you is because it was as alarming. It was as alarming as it sounds. Okay, I went to the clinic. Short story. I went to the clinic. They did some tests. They were worried. They told me to go to the hospital, the big hospital. I had to make that appointment. Got the referral. Went to the big hospital. They did some CT scans and some other tests and saw the doctor, and I found out that I had a massive tumor on my right kidney. And the size of the tumor was pretty big, and that's why it was causing some of these other problems, like my legs were swelling, my feet were swelling. Also, I was having edema. If you don't know what edema is, basically when you press down on your skin and then you let go, the indentation stays for a long time. Plus, my legs, my feet were swelling. My legs and my feet looked really bruised. It looked like I was a Thai boxer or something, and I was just kicking things all day, and my feet and my legs were bruised, but I wasn't. They were just swollen, and I had to start wearing, and I'm still wearing, actually right now, I'm still wearing these. These are compression socks. I wear these every day in order they go all the way down to my feet, and this is to help keep my legs from swelling, and especially my left leg. It's the worst, but they both have this problem. So anyway, that's one of the issues. But I also have severe anemia, so I can't get too physical for a long period of time, especially like going upstairs, walking upstairs, or anything that is like anaerobic, or anything that's aerobic. If I have to start breathing heavy and things like that, my oxygen can't be replaced in the blood very quickly, and so it becomes very difficult for me. So even though you see me doing a lot of work around here and things like that, trust me, I'm not moving as fast and doing things as fast as I would like. And a lot of days, like especially the past few days, I'm moving so slow, and I'm just staying in the bed a lot. I rest a lot, and I'm trying to do my best to overcome this situation. But I will say that a year ago, when I found out about this and I was feeling so terrible, I crashed. I wanted to give up. When I was walking to the school, I wasn't getting any sympathy at the time from my company. They just wanted to know if I was going to be at the school or not. They let me know if I took off of work, I wouldn't get paid, etc., etc. At the time, they said there was no such thing as medical leave or medical support to take off from work, which was not true. I found out that there actually was medical leave, but of course that had to be approved by the doctor. And he did. The doctor said, yeah, absolutely. But it actually took a long time. I started to go downhill fast in May of last year. That was 13 months ago. And I didn't actually get to take off of work until the end of November. It was December 1st was my first official day not at work. So from May of last year, when I first really crashed until December 1st, I continued to suffer and go to work, and it was difficult for me. Uh, my colleagues at the school, they did everything that they could to help me out and help me get by each day, and they expressed their concern for me. The students and my colleagues both really expressed concern for me, and they did everything they could, but they they weren't my company. I didn't work for the school. I worked for a company that provided teachers to the school. So my real support, I guess you could say, was supposed to come from my company, but I had to push them the whole way through because what they really wanted is for me to just be good enough to go to the school. Just keep going to the school, keep showing up, keep teaching, and not rock the boat. So I would say that out of 10, I would give them a 5 for helping me because they didn't do the worst. And I wouldn't say that they didn't care, but I will say that they were definitely not doing anything to help me without me prompting them to help me. They weren't actively trying to help me, and the information they had was often inaccurate and seemed at times to be purposefully inaccurate to just get me to keep working and going to the school. And they were always concerned about when I would be back to the school. But what do you say to that? I have a large cancer tumor on my kidney. I need to take time off. Well, how long do you think you're going to be out? A couple of weeks, a month or two? They literally asked me that. That's crazy. I don't know how to respond to that. I don't know what to say to that. What am I supposed to say? How can I answer that question? It was a ridiculous situation to be in, and I was already having pain and dealing with psychological things related to what was happening to my body and my experience at the school. I wasn't able to do the things that I was doing before. I wasn't able to play with the kids, because I had no energy to do that. I could barely go up the stairs. I was out of wind, and I felt like I'd just run a marathon. Every time I would just go up to the second floor. So I felt absolutely horrible. And the mental stress, the emotional stress, the physical. I mean, the physical was a different thing because some people say, "Oh, well, to be a teacher in Japan is not that big of a deal." And one of my former colleagues, actually, I don't speak with her anymore. I had to unfortunately let go of that relationship because even though she had done some things to help me and support me in the beginning, she turned on me and she started to view my medical leave as a farce because she sees me out here at my house doing some work in the yard or doing manual labor, in her opinion, which is if you're sick and you need to take off, you can't be doing anything. You just basically, I guess, you have to be bedridden. I have to be in bed and not be able to do anything. And there are some days when I do stay in bed. I stay in bed sometimes all day long just because I feel so tired and I need it. And I don't see anyone. I don't go anywhere. So some days, yes, I do that. But other days, like when Jake was here, it really gave me some energy and I was able to go, 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 go. And I mean, I was sore after and I really had to rest. And I think Jake and I both, we really worked ourselves some days and we didn't set an alarm clock. We slept until we wanted to get up. And so, but the thing about this situation is the doctor even says that being out here, being at my house, doing the work here, and being able to be on my own schedule, to be able to sleep when I need to be able to relax when I need to, and not have a set schedule where I must get up at a certain time and I must go to a school and be there for 9 hours every single day, 5 days a week, and not be able to control when I can rest or sleep or lie down. At a school, I can't control my schedule. I can't work part-time, and I definitely can't lie down anywhere. That kind of environment, it's not conducive to getting better, especially since there's also the emotional issue of what's going to happen when I go to the toilet, and am I going to have a major physical problem and have to rush to the hospital? I didn't want to have to deal with that in a public school environment and have my colleagues and my students worry about me. And uh, I was very appreciative to them for letting me sit down in class when I wasn't needed or wasn't actively doing something. They would often just give me a chair and ask me to sit down and rest. The students even noticed that I was really tired sometimes, and they would ask me if I was okay. And I wouldn't tell them I was sick. I would just say, I'm just tired, that's all. But everybody noticed that I wasn't feeling right, and they were taking the extra time to ask me and check on me. And that's something that my company wasn't doing. And then whenever my colleague unfortunately kind of turned on me, I guess she saw some of my YouTube videos and saw that I was doing work around the house and, you know, um, building stuff, cutting things out, cutting the grass, etc. And in her mind, these are things that a person on medical leave can't do or shouldn't do or whatever. But actually, my doctor says the opposite. He says that these things are exactly what I need, and he's very happy that I'm doing these things. If I told him that I was just laying around every single day and I couldn't do anything, he would probably tell me that I was in a very bad situation. I need to go to the hospital and stay there because that wouldn't sound good at all. But it's interesting because I have a professional on one hand telling me that what I'm doing is good and it's helping me, it's good for me. And then I have a colleague on the other hand who's much younger and not a medical professional treating me very harshly and basically like a narcissistic controlling mother, which I don't need. And unfortunately, I had to remove her from my life because that's what I do. I don't play around with people anymore. When they start abusing me in any way, whether it's verbally, emotionally, or whatever, I don't care if they're family or friends. Doesn't matter to me. Family, and real friends don't treat each other like that. And so whenever people start to do that, I take that as a sign. Okay, this person is not someone who needs to be in my life because I don't do that to people. People don't do that to me. So I just say sayonara. Anyway, I know I got into a long rant about all of those things, but the reason I told you all that is because it's kind of sets me up to where I am today. Because when I went on medical leave, I was able to get permission at the end of my contract, my work contract, to stay in Japan on my current residency until the end of it, which is in October. And the reason is because I told them that what I would like to do is go back to school. I would like to study Japanese. Anyone who tells you that you'll have a much better experience in Japan, regardless of whether you're a tourist or if you live here, you plan to buy an Akia here in Japan and spend time here, live here, have a holiday home here, whatever. Learning Japanese is the way to go. Becoming better in listening and speaking and even reading and writing. If you can do those things, you'll have a much better experience, much richer experience. You'll learn more, and et cetera, et cetera. That's absolutely correct. I believe that 100%. And I realized that first of all, even though I'm good at teaching and my students love me, teaching is not what I want to do with my life. I have other things that I want to do, but I also want to live in Japan. So in order to be in Japan, I need to find a way to do something else. And I've had some people say, just hurry up and get married. Well, I've had opportunities to do that, but I wasn't looking to do that. I didn't want to just hurry up and get married with somebody just for the sake of being married. I wanted to make sure that whenever I did get married, I married the right person, I didn't want to hurry and rush to get married just to get a visa. I didn't want to do that. So I'm not one of those guys that can just, I've got a Japanese wife now, we can get a loan and I can pay some guys to come out here and fix all this stuff. I don't have that luxury. And some people have done that, and that's fine. It's not something that I can do, but of course at the same time, I enjoy doing a lot of the work by myself or
myself with the help of other people rather than just throwing money at it. But as far as residency is concerned, if I'm not working, then I have to have residency somehow. And since I'm not married, the only other option really is to go back to work, or the only other options are to either go back to work, which physically won't help me to go back to teaching. It won't help me monetarily, and it won't help my mental health and my body, or to go back to school to study Japanese. And that's actually what I want to do. And you've heard me mention it before, and that's probably why you're probably connecting the dots on why did I do a podcast about enrolling in a Japanese language program, because that's what I've been looking into. And that's what I'm announcing in this video, is that I am officially applying for a Japanese language school in Onomichi, which is about an hour's drive from my house. And here's the big part of that, okay? Today's Sunday, so in 3 days on Wednesday, I'm actually going to give my paperwork to officially apply and have that paperwork sent to immigration and process my student visa. And I'm hoping that all of the information is good and that it gets approved and all that sort of thing. It should. But here's the thing. Whenever you apply for student residency in Japan, there are some qualifications or requirements that you have to meet. And one of those is financial support, financial qualifications. You have to show them that you can actually financially take care of yourself while you're here taking classes. And I do have a couple of benefits. I have been living here already. I've been working here. I have a house that's completely paid for. I don't owe anything on this house. It's all paid. Plus, I have a van, a vehicle that's all paid. I don't owe anything on that either. And so those are good. But I still have to turn in my bank account statements to show that I have money to support myself. And there's a range that they told me that there's a target range of how much money I really need to have in my accounts before I apply to immigration. Otherwise, they just won't accept it. And you could say the lower end of that range is around $8,000. And this is where I wanted to tack in my last bit of announcement and major gratitude for a good friend of mine that I mentioned earlier. And his name's Michael. And Michael is actually, I guess what you would call a ABC guy, American-born Chinese. To me, he's just a New Yorker. He's a Yankees fan, but I'm an Astros fan. Which right now, I guess the Astros are still the bane of the Yankees' existence. So, Michael, I'm sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. It's out of my hands. But the thing is, Michael was one of my first friends when I moved to China over 10 years ago, when I first moved abroad, and I lived in Guangzhou. Guangzhou is in the south of China, not far from Hong Kong in Guangdong province. And I started working at a one-on-one English training center, and that's where I met Michael. And he and I became friends, and he even starred in a short film with me. Not with me. Actually, I wasn't in the film. I wrote and directed and shot the film, and he was the main actor in the film. It's only about a 9-minute film. I think it's exactly 9 minutes, but he and a couple of other people that I knew, including his son, his little boy, was in the film too. And they shot that movie with me. If I can think to put that link in the description, I will, so you can check it out. It's very abstract. It's a highly symbolic short film, but I love that film, and it was a film that really helped me work through some childhood issues, actually, because that's what the film is really about. And anyway, I'm just saying that we built a relationship. We've met many times. We've had really deep discussions about all sorts of things. I mean, just they kind of run the gamut, the kinds of things that we've talked about. And I had a rough time after I left China. I went to Tokyo for a few months. I was trying to work there. I spent a lot of money trying to go to tons of interviews. Couldn't find a place to sponsor a visa for a job, and I almost ran out of money. I had one choice, really, in my mind, and that was to go back to China, get another visa, and try again, but just move somewhere else. And I decided to move somewhere close to Shanghai. But I wouldn't have been able to do that if not for Michael and his family. They let me stay at his apartment for a while. They helped me, get set up somewhere else until I was able to find a job close to Shanghai. And then I moved up there, had a completely different experience in China the second time than I did the first time. Met some amazing people, made lots more friends, even became the private tutor for a big celebrity in Beijing. I mean, it's a crazy ride, and that's a lot of stories. There are a lot of stories there that I could tell you, but I won't tell you right now. The point of this is that from that time all the way back until now, Michael and I have stayed in touch, and thankfully he's been following me on my YouTube channel, and I'm sure that he'll be watching this because I'm gonna let you know about this so that you can check it out. But just like I said to everybody else before, in showing my gratitude to the other people that have supported me, I want to say directly to Michael also, thank you so much. Because what Michael has done, we had a phone call several weeks ago. I don't even remember the exact day it was, but it was several weeks ago. At that time, there was no way that I could go to school, okay? There was no way. Because even if I had several months, even if I had a year maybe to save money, maybe in a year I could save up enough money to enroll in school. But I didn't have that much time. I only had a couple of months to get everything together and apply so that I could get my student residency and go to school by the fall in October. And that was impossible. The money that I have and had rather actually, the money that I had at that time, it was not possible. It wasn't possible. But I had two choices. One was either to worry about it and try to figure out what to do, because if I didn't either go back to work or find the money, I would just lose my residency, access to my banks, my medical support, my health insurance. You see where this is going, right? And maybe I would even have to leave Japan. It's ridiculous, right? Even though I have a life here and my insurance, I'm reliant on my insurance and my medical leave. I have my house here. My whole life is here. This is where I wanted to be. I've been living in Asia for over 10 years. And my goal this whole time was to live here. And that was all at risk. But I realized there was nothing I could directly do about it. And trying to brainstorm ways to just make thousands and thousands of dollars just within a couple of months. It was too much for me to think about. And because of my health condition, it was stressing me out. And so I decided I'm not going to worry about it. Something will work out. And whatever it is, I'm okay with that. I'll know it when it happens. Whatever it is, whatever happens, I'll be okay with that. So I just decided to accept the outcome and let it go, because I have ideas all the time, but if I already knew how to just make thousands and thousands of dollars within a month or two, I think I would have already figured that out by now. So brainstorming suddenly to just do that and have it all taken care of and apply for this fall in such a quick manner, it seemed ridiculous to put myself through that stress. So instead, I just decided to relax. And I remember right around that time, Michael messaged me on YouTube, because we actually talk through WeChat in China, and I don't always see those messages on my phone. My phone doesn't give me the notifications for WeChat, so I have to manually log in every day in order to see Michael's messages. And he posted on YouTube on one of my videos, excuse me, and he said, check your WeChat. So I did, and he said we should have a video call. So we did. I set up a time, and he and I met. We had a video call, and we chatted for a while. And it was at that time that Michael said that he would be willing to front that money to me, send that money to me, so that I could get through that tuition and approval process for residency and get into school. And I couldn't believe that. I mean, I know that Michael and I are friends, and he's a good friend. But you know, I've got family that know my situation, and they haven't sent me as much as $5. They haven't sent me as much as 1 penny. And yet I don't know where I would be if I didn't have my friends. I will say that moving here to this house right in the middle of winter and having almost no money and no good way to heat just one room, it was difficult. Leaving my job and taking medical leave and not getting any medical support for basically about 2 months in the beginning, it was really difficult. And for a while, I really felt alone. And that's not the first time in my life. I felt alone many times, okay? Many times in my life. Throughout my childhood, I spent most of my time alone. My marriage was a disaster. My daughter was taken away from me. I was isolated then. I was demonized. I became depressed. I had a complete breakdown when my wife took my daughter away. I went back to school and I was able to leave. And that's when I went to China. And that's where I met Michael. And I met more friends. Came to Japan, made more friends. Started my YouTube channel, made more friends in Hiroshima. And it just, now I'm at the point where even though I'm still living here alone right now, you can hear how quiet it is. All I hear right now are birds. The only evidence I see of other people right now is just a little bit of smoke from somebody burning nearby. But I can honestly say that this feeling of being alone has slowly but surely this year just left me. And I'm so grateful for that, because I believe that it shows some really good positive changes in me. I just hope that for all the people I mentioned, and the people that I haven't mentioned but I also am thankful for, I hope that I'm able to do something that's so much bigger than what they did for me in return. That's what I hope. Because there's a lot of stuff that I've been through that you don't know about. I shared a little bit about that with Jake, and of course Michael knows too. Everyone who's pretty close to me knows a lot about some things that I've been through, and I haven't shared on this channel just because it hasn't been the right time, or it hasn't been um, relevant, I guess, to what's going on here right now. But suffice to say that there's a lot of stuff that I've been through where I just really felt alone. And nothing seemed to really help that. But for the first time in my life, I feel like I can feel sad. I can feel a little down. But it's different. I know it's temporary. It's natural. It's just natural. It's natural when a friend leaves or something happens. Like right now, I have no communication with my daughter. My daughter just graduated university recently, and I found out she had told some big lies to me, and all I did was tell her I needed her to apologize, and she blew up. It hurt at first, but it's not something that I dwell on or think about. It doesn't bother me. If it had happened several years ago, it really would have upset me. It really would have. But now I feel like, it's just the way it is. And I'm okay with that because I know that everything is working out and everything is for my benefit. Whatever happens is for my best. So I guess this is long enough. I guess this is the life. This is the life portion. This is the life video of Akia Kominka life. And I never intended for this channel to just be about my house or the Kominka or, even just life in Japan. It's kind of all inclusive. It's also about me and my experience. I'm not going to take you on a tour of some shrine in Wakayama or something like that. That has nothing to do with my channel, nothing to do with this topic. If it has to do with, houses in Japan like Akia, empty houses, or Kominkas, even machas, stuff like that, and my life here as it relates to living here in this house, then absolutely I want to try to share that with you so that we can have a deeper relationship. I might not have 10, 20, or 30,000 subscribers or a million or whatever. I'm not Chris Broad, I'm not going to spend the night in Japan's smallest apartment or something. or ride on Japan's most expensive overnight bullet train or something like that. That's not what this channel is about. But I can say that the quality of subscribers, the quality of supporters, and the people who follow my channel is very concentrated and strong. And I would be a fool to not recognize that and express my gratitude for all of you who've stepped up in indescribable ways to support me in not just this house, but actually enabling me to continue to be here and exist and recover my health, mental and physical, and take a next big important important step in my life. So there we are. Wednesday I'm taking my paperwork, and as I get word back from immigration about my approval, I'll be letting you know. But that's where it stands right now. Anyway, I think that's all I have to say. I love all of you.
Thank you for watching. Arigatou gozaimasu. And until next time, じゃあね。